So what you will need for this project is, of course, the tote, something to make holes. I use this. You can use a drill bit, which is probably even quicker. Since I moved, my stuff is kind of packed up, so I don't know where that is, so I use that. You can use a shovel if you needed a hand shovel. I personally use my hands. That's just me. I don't use gloves. I like the feel. Some people might have a sensitivity to if their fingers getting dirty or getting in their nails, so you want to wear garden gloves. That's perfectly fine. There's no right or wrong answer to that. You also need some potting soil. So today I brought the potting soil right up here with me. So again, the first thing we want to do is drill some holes. And it's no different than what I was telling you before with the same single plant. You just go and you put your holes in. I like the serrated edge. I actually love the serrated edge for so many different reasons, but the more you turn it, the more it takes shape. You see? I'm going to make several really close together in a line so I can get a lot of drainage, because I'm going to put a lot of soil and I'm going to put a lot of plants. I am really trying to be orderly with the drainage, because I wanted to evenly drain in the back and evenly drain in the front, because I'm going to put a row of one type of plant in the front and another in the back. So I just want to make sure that they're evenly draining and we don't have water when it rains or water when I water the plants to collect in the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and do a middle row, just because if it doesn't catch at the front or the back, it'll drain out the middle. So it will be nicely aerated, which means air will definitely get all the way inside of there, if you didn't guess that. And, this isn't an easy task, you know what I'm saying? It really isn't, but if you see, my muscles are working. I'm pushing forward on the bend and pushing forward in both directions to kind of get it to work as the tool that I needed it to work. See, if I had to drill it, it'd be really easy. But no, I prefer doing it from like this, because I just feel like I'm using a tool. Now, of course, back in the day, I probably would have just used a hammer and a nail. That's another way to do it. But since I've been doing it this way, it's quick. It doesn't take time. I mean, of course it's tedious to go and make all these little holes. Trust me, ladies, if you have a tool, gentlemen, if you have a tool, everyone, if you have a tool, grab it and use it, because it'll just make your job a whole lot easier. Especially if you're a beginner gardener. Sometimes, we get turned off by the work. But it really truly is a labor of love, and you get to enjoy your harvest, or you just get to sit back and watch the beauty of your garden. It's all well worth it. That's part of the joy of it. I don't know if you guys remember that movie Baby Boy, when she sat outside in her tomato garden and just enjoyed herself. I totally can relate with her now. Didn't get it before. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I got my holes, as you can see. Holes, plenty of them. And I'm going to take my soil and I'm just going to put it in there. Really simple. Chances are it's going to take this whole bag to fill it, and I'm okay with that. Because it's some good soil. I'm hoping that I can stretch it, but I know I have a few plants here, so it's going to take a lot of soil. Alright. Hopefully I can get this back to the point where I can tip it, because it is very, very, very heavy. Very heavy. Uh-oh. Found one of my broken seeds in there. How'd that get in there? I probably used the water. Okay. Would you like to see? Here we go. All the soil is in there, of course, making the tote very, very heavy at this point. Now, you can fill it as deep as you truly want, but I gotta tell you, if you utilize your space correctly, it would be wise to go ahead. Uh-oh. Luckily that didn't crack. This bag is so heavy. You want to put as much as you can so that you have the most growing capacity. This is a good bag, I'm telling you. It's filled up to the top and I still got more. I'm happy about that. Oh, awesome. All right. I think I'm good. Ooh. So, what you want to do is even out your soil across the tote. Look at that. That looks like a garden bed now, doesn't it? All right. So what I'm going to do, determine which one is your front. What side is your front? Let's see. I think the one that's facing me is going to be my front. I am going to be separating into 2 rows. Okay? 2 rows. So just like I would in the garden, I focus on spacing. If I would do it in a garden bed or a garden box or a raised bed, that's what I would do. So this kind of gives me an indication. Let me show you how you could even do it here. Look, this would give me an indication as to, okay, my spacing. I might want to plant only 6 plants in here because you want each area to have enough room to breathe and to grow, right? So yesterday I had the beautiful privilege and honor to go on a nursery field trip. Yes, and saw some plants. This is the end of the season, so there was a lot of sales. Remember, sales are everything. And I was able to get 2 of these pallets for $1. With tax, $1.07. The bomb. These are peppercini peppers. And the cool thing about them is I love them. I eat these in Greek salads all the time. Check it out. There's even one growing, or 2, isn't it? 2, yeah, 2 growing on there and 1 growing on there. So what I'm going to do, the ones that are producing, those 3, I'm going to plant them right here and let them keep growing so that I can enjoy a nice harvest of them all, right? Let's see. Make sure you can see. Okay. All right. So just like we would with the other plant, we would take one area, section it off. This is how you can use your tool, turn it. There's another tool that you can use to push down and turn, but I don't have that today. So I'm going to use my finger. I'll just go in real nice and make a pocket. Squeeze it out. Go this way. Squeeze it out. I like keeping my labels too because it tells me what's in there and how to care for it. It says high yield and mildly hot. Thin walled tapered peppers, and it matures in 62 to 75 days, and it likes about 18 to 30 inches apart, and you keep it well watered. So, you know, I'm going to play with it a little bit, and don't be afraid to do that. I mean, I know when you're new, you don't know enough to make any changes, but I watch my plants all the time. So if I'm like, it needs more room, I'll give it more room. Quite honestly, the way that I just put this one in the pot, I think I'm only going to do 2. And then I'll find another place for my other ones to grow because I don't know if it's going to really have the space it needs. I think I want this one in the pot. I want this one in the pot. I'm trying to make a selection as to which one I want in the pot. See which one can be happy here. Okay, I'm making another hole, placing it well deep into the pot and covering it, and just like that we have 2 peppercini plants planted. So now I wanted something different, and I've been experimenting with this plant for a few years, and I think I finally figured it out. But I learned that peppers and cantaloupes can be planted as companion plants. So I'm going to give it a try. I've never done it before. But what I'm going to do is, because I'm not sure how the seeds are going to grow, if I have a really good shot of growing them or not, I'm going to put 2 seeds in each. Trust me, I have tons. This is fresh out of the cantaloupe that I ate the other day, and I gotta tell you, delicious. I was wearing half of it on my shirt, on my shirt. So, you know, you get them nice and clean them off, and then you take the seeds and you plant them. Now what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to decide which plant do you want to keep, and that's called thinning. When you thin that plant out, you decide which one has the best chance for growth. Then you leave that plant where you planted it, and you tend to it. And then you can take the other plant and put it somewhere else, and you have germinated, which is you made the seed produce a root and some leaves. Once you do that, then you'll have more, and then you can learn, hey, if you want, you can germinate all the seeds you want and grow as many plants as you want. Okay, so this is planted. Okay, covered my holes, have my line. Another good thing about this line here is when you water it, just like you would in the ground, when you water it, the water will collect inside here, and that kind of acts like almost like a trench to collect water. So if it's raining, it's really cool. It'll collect more water and channel it down to your roots. Yes. Some other finds. I found this beautiful citronella plant. Now, I realized after I bought it that I had some geranium here, but I cannot stand to be one summer without this plant, because this naturally is the mosquito blocker of the year. Literally. Plant this on your porch. It keeps all of those nasty, bitey bugs away from your beautiful, you know, sun-kissed legs. That goes for everyone, men and women. I picked up 2 of those, and as I was caring for the other garden, I found that there was some chocolate mint that was planted a while ago that actually came back in a friend's garden. Oh, that smells so heavenly. So now I have lemon balm, spearmint, peppermint, and chocolate mint. So, and let's not forget Cuban oregano, which is also a mint as well. I also have this beautiful blueberry. It's a powder blue blueberry, and it's still ripening, but I'm going to put that in that big large pot, get that in, because I needed 2 of them. I know I have one. I have a pink lemonade blueberry tree, a bush, excuse me, and it would not fruit, and I believe that's because it couldn't cross-pollinate with another plant. So I got it a friend, a helper. Even the plants have mates. Isn't that something? Birds have mates. We have mates. Plants have mates. And I think that is so glorious. So one can't do the job without the other. So if you've ever had a plant that really didn't produce, look it up. Don't be afraid to research. I promise you, I spend most of my time on YouTube and on my phone looking up different concepts, different ideas to find out, okay, let me learn a little more. So again, yes, I've had that plant for 2 years. The first year I had another plant next to it, it produced fruit. This time I didn't have another plant next to it, it did not. So chances are it needs to cross-pollinate, so it needed it early. So unfortunately, my first plant is not going to produce, but luckily this beautiful blueberry that has made it to my garden will give me a small harvest and I can enjoy, and then next year they'll both put out, and that's awesome. Same for like my peaches, you need 2. My cherry tree, I know I'm gonna need another one, so more plants to buy. So it's not just an addiction, but it really is. But sometimes you need to assess what you have in order to make sure that your garden is flourishing. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is always a pleasure. Let me know if you're really liking this. Let me know what you would like to talk about. Is there any particular plant up here you want me to talk about next? Is there something that you're having trouble planting? Let me know what kind of containers you're using. Like I said, I just walked around the area behind the shed and look at this. Yes, look at that. What a spout. It's probably used for some type of oil, but listen, it's clean as a whistle on the inside. I'm using this. I'm sure enough going to plant it. I'll probably plant my citronella in it so it can be nice. I don't know. Haven't decided. Or my mint. Maybe mint. Let it run. Well, either way, thank you again for joining me in Connie's Corner. I'll see you next time. Peace. Meet me in the garden.